Hello guys, welcome to our fourth watch along. Today we have decided to watch Power of the Daleks, because when you're watching this, hopefully Evil of the Daleks is just around the corner, has just been released, and it's now the end of September. We've travelled into the future then.
We've time travelled
into the future. So to mark the release of Evil of the Daleks, we have decided to go back to Patrick Troughton's first story and watch Power of the Daleks.
We have. And I'm very much looking forward to it. This is a very different reaction for us because it's our first animated reaction. Commentary. We have seen this before, but
it's our first six-parter as well that we're doing.
Yes, it is. So it's a long one.
I can't remember the last time I've seen this. So we're going to be watching the 2016 edition of this story, and I can't really remember much about it, to be honest with you. So it's going to be...
I've seen it... How many times did you say you've seen it once?
Well, I've seen it once.
I've seen it twice. I remember because I did a big marathon last year of going through Classic Who, like filling in the stories I hadn't seen.
Yeah.
And I watched it... it was the second time I watched it because I got it on DVD before. And this is the 2016 version.
Yes.
They have... Was it 2019 they did a new version?
I think it was 2020. So it was only last year, yeah. Is that the version on BritBox?
No, it's the version on BritBox. Well, at least when I watched it on BritBox, they made some changes now, but it was the colour version of the 2016,
okay,
which didn't look as good, I don't think.
Yeah,
because especially the humanoid characters, the black and white sort of masks, not the bad animation, but it when it's in colour, it really exposes that the animation is a low budget.
Yeah,
the Daleks still look fine, but it personally looks a bit more atmospheric and creepy in black and white, you know.
Right, well, let's get on with it. So, episode 1. Here we go.
Here we go. The end of the 10th planet.
So this is a pre-title sequence. We're going back to the Five Doctors.
Yeah, I was wrong.
We said that could be the first pre-title sequence.
Is it definitely a pre-title? Or have they added this for the animation?
I'm not sure.
Comment below. I mean, yeah, it's a very cool... Even if they've added it on, it's a good idea. It makes it more dynamic, having a pre-title sequence, especially since there was a regeneration in the last story, just to remind the audience what happened.
It is funny, because on DVD we have 10th Planet, and part 4 of that is an animation as well. So
actually, they sort of bleed into each other quite nicely, don't they?
Different style, but...
Yeah. Was 10th Planet... That was one of the first ones, wasn't it? I think.
I think it was Planet 55 done that.
Yeah. They were the ones who did The Invasion, parts 1 and 4.
No, they done... they done the Moon Base. I think, it was around about that time, so...
Who did The Invasion? So The Invasion I thought was good.
Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head.
I'm clearly not very knowledgeable on animation. There we go. We got the original title sequence. Patrick Troughton didn't have his own title sequence until Macroterror?
Yes. And then the music, that wasn't used until the next season, I believe. The new score.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Episode 1. And this is a weird change because he's still in his... he changes his clothes.
He changes his clothes as well, yeah.
Yeah, he's got the Troughton trousers on now. I do like Ben and Polly. I just wish they did more with them because they're both really strong characters, especially having Polly being a female companion in the 60s. She has really strong moments, like in the last story, standing up to the Cybermen. And she gets so many great moments, you know, but it's not consistent. Sometimes she's a damsel, sometimes she's not. I mean, I feel so bad for Ben and Polly in the Faceless Ones. They get so...
they're barely in it, and then...
Ben's just shoved in a box for most of the story.
Yeah, and then off they go at the end, and that's it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we're going to go now. Oh, right. Oh, Ben will look after you. Oh, no, Polly will look after you, whatever he says. I like that. It's like the regeneration slowly calming down. He's adapting to his new body.
I think there's like an undercurrent of untrust as well between the Doctor and the companions and throughout this story, I think.
Well, what I like is that Polly is more trusting and sort of accepts it because she heard what the Doctor said in the 10th Planet by saying, my body's wearing a bit thin.
Yeah.
But Ben, on the other hand, is very sceptical of him. Quite rightly so. And also, it doesn't help that he goes around saying, when the Doctor found this, or something, it's like he refers to the Doctor as a different person. Yeah. And Ben's like, what, are you the Doctor or not? Looks a bit scary. He looks like a vampire in that shot.
Looks a bit like Emperor Palpatine with the hood up.
Surprise. I'm here 20 years early. Yeah, I just wish they did more with these companions, because I think they're really strong companions. As soon as Jamie comes in, even though Jamie's amazing, but they sort of do take a backseat more.
Yeah. Well, in the early stories, a lot of Ben's lines went over to Jamie because the writers had started writing the stories and Ben wasn't a companion originally.
Well, yeah, Jamie wasn't even supposed to be a companion.
No, then Innes Lloyd went, do you want to be a companion? Well, they had to go back and had to reshoot, didn't they?
Yeah, because
Highlanders, yeah.
Because the original was them saying goodbye to Jamie and just, going away in the TARDIS, and then they had to do the redone version of him joining them. But that's why in Moonbase, I think what the writer for Moonbase, was it Jerry Davis probably?
Yeah.
He was like, he wasn't really aware that they had a new companion, and he'd already written the Moonbase script. And he was like, oh shit, what am I going to do with him? So they just hospitalise him for most of the story.
Yeah.
What? I like that. This must have been so weird in the 60s. They'd be like, what the why is it... Why have we got a new Doctor Who? What's going on?
It would be interesting to go back in time and see how they've done it.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Because, hear from Stephen Moffat, it was so stressful getting a new Doctor in. So, and I think he said he'd love to go back and see how they've done it during the 60s.
Yeah, even Patrick Troughton was very stressed because he wanted to do it a few different ways. He wanted to play it as blacked up with a turban. It's off the time, obviously. And he wanted to play it as a sailor or something, I think he said. But then... Sidney Newman said, "Oh, what are you doing? Come on, rough him up, make him a cosmic hobo."
Yeah.
But Patrick Troughton was very stressed. I heard a story. I think Annika Wills told it, where for a joke, when Patrick Troughton was one of his first days shooting, Ben and Polly, Michael Craze and Annika wore T-shirts saying "Bring back Bill Hartnell."
Yeah, I've heard this.
Patrick Troughton did not take that very well.
Fell. Yeah,
because Troughton's he's normally up for a prank. Troughton. As we know from his relationship with John Pertwee, he's always messing around, but... And they brought that back with Jodie Whittaker, the ring falling off. It's a nice little...
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Touch.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm.
Yeah, here we go. The Doctor's talking in third person.
Yeah. He's so different in this, Troughton. There's no Fraser Hines for him to bounce off of, because that's where a lot of the Second Doctor's humour came from.
Yeah,
him and Jamie. And he's a lot more he keeps himself to himself in this story. He's quite reserved, even though he's quirky. He sort of just does his own thing. He buggers off to the Mercury Swamp in a minute, which leaves Ben and Polly behind.
Yeah.
And
is this the first time we see the 500-year-old diary?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember Hartnell using it. And this is the first time the Doctor's age is referenced, isn't it, really?
Yes, I think it is.
I think the first time he ever mentions his age is in Two of the Cybermen. They are. Matt Smith got that from Troughton. He does that in Time of Angels. Remember he opens the door and he doesn't need the scanner. He just goes, and he gives off the readings. Oh, that looks good. See, that in colour doesn't look the same. It looks way more creepy and atmospheric in black and white.
Black and white, yeah.
I must say, the non-humanoid objects look better in this. The Daleks are very smooth the way they move, and the police box there, and the interior of the TARDIS.
Yeah,
looks it's very 3D, but the humanoid characters are very 2D. They're a bit cardboard cutout,
I think that's why I prefer the style of Planet 55 when they've done the moon base and Tomb of the Cybermen. Not Tomb of the Cybermen.
Faceless Ones. Did they do Faceless Ones?
No, they done 10th Planet. That sort of region. Did they do Region of Terror? I might just be saying random stuff now.
The Reign of Terror.
But Reign of Terror, yes. But yeah, it's a 10th Planet and Moonbase, I think that's my favourite style, I think, of animation. But then that's the beauty that different companies have done these different stories, is you can sort of go back and...
Yeah. They have their own
sort of your own different style. Bit like Doctor Who in a way, you know?
Yeah.
If you don't like one era of the show, well, it doesn't matter, because in a few years it's going to change anyway.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that's a great thing. This is the true story, the end of 10th Planet, that introduced change in Doctor Who, really proper change.
Yeah.
Even though there'd been different producers in the Hartnell era and different script editors and writers, this is the first time the show truly changed, dramatically.
Oh no, Mr. Exposition!
Well, that was brief. It's interesting, this planet's called Vulcan. And this is before Star Trek. Because obviously Spock is a Vulcan.
He is a Vulcan.
I think it's like an ancient Latin word or something. It was a word before Star Trek, so that's why Doctor Who have got there first.
Yeah. He drops his sticker.
Oh no. My well done badge. Oh, he doesn't wear glasses normally.
Hartnell does.
Oh, of course.
Doesn't he? They're
yes,
Hartnell's
right.
glasses.
Yeah, he doesn't need them anymore. That's a nice touch. Bit of plot convenience there. So he's allowed to be where he's supposed to be.
Interestingly, they used the original soundtrack, the original audio, didn't they, from the actual story throughout this.
Yeah.
So I think later on when the Daleks are sort of rolling about, you can sort of hear them bumping into bits of the set and stuff, even though they're moving very fluidly.
Yeah, even though you can see they're not actually bumping into anything on the animation, you can hear all this crashing. The animation on the mouth there is a bit dodgy.
It is. It is, yeah.
A bit of a rebellion going on here.
It's nice to see it sort of progress from sort of just a harmless little chat there, first episode to actually what happens later. Yeah.
They planted the seeds there, and they will slowly grow throughout the 6 parts. That's the only good thing about 6-parter, is that stuff develops gradually and more realistically. It's not rushed. Oh. Ow.
Oh God, did you see that fourth guard there? He just all of a sudden appeared behind all the others.
So you've got the teleport working again. I remember that line. To examine!
Looks a bit like Moff Tarkin from Star Wars, I think. That guy.
He does a bit.
Bragging.
Yeah, and Peter Cushing had already been Doctor Who by this point as well.
Yes.
An unofficial
Well,
one.
I think it's the same year that the Invasion Earth 2150 movie
1966.
came out. Yeah.
That's mad that the Daleks got so popular, they based movies on Doctor Who stories.
Yeah.
They were going to do the chase as well.
They've actually got footage, haven't they? They shot some of it.
Have they?
So they're actually
seen footage.
Yeah, there's some footage out there online somewhere.
Oh, have you seen it?
Yeah.
What is it like?
The mechanoids are called Mekons for some reason. And they're all different colours.
The Mekons! Of course they're all different colours, because that's what the Daleks are like in those films. See, that's the second Doctor coming through already, playing the fool, but he's actually processing everything.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
Yeah. He's like a wolf in sheepskin. They in this story, they make great use of Tristram Carey's Dalek score.
They do.
I think it actually works better here.
Well, it's slightly recycled, isn't it? I mean, they don't change anything to the score, but the way it's edited in, yeah.
It's a lot more ominous in this story, especially when they enter the Dalek ship, It's the typical sci-fi thing in this story where, the scientists are like, oh, discovery, look what we could find, and then they never listen to the man who actually knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, but it really works.
Yeah, it does, yeah. It's used a lot in, especially old sci-fi.
Yeah.
I wonder how that effect actually looked in 1966. I imagine it would have looked like the Ice Warrior gun effect.
Possibly, yeah.
Distort the screen, you know.
Didn't they do that with mirrors? I'm pretty sure
I'm not sure how they did it. Probably.
They filmed against the mirror or something and then just sort of poked the mirror and it'll just...
Oh, really?
I think so. I think I've read somewhere that that's how they did it.
It's a nice cheap way of doing it, but it works.
Leave it for tonight. That's what we've come here for, Doctor.
You sound like the Brigadier then. Doctor, come back at once.
I think it's really good as well how we see the sudden progression of Lesterson, where he becomes sort of, the scientist at the base. Then he just has a meltdown, and we just see him just decline.
Yeah, well, he goes mental, story. Doesn't he? Yeah. When he sees the mutant, he's like, they're reproducing. I feel like they're over-animating the mouth. There's too much movement. Like, what do with him? He always keeps his nose.
Yeah.
See, I watched this in colour on BritBox, and I think Polly's shirt is actually orange.
Well, it's like the war games. They go to the war, the base, like in the centre of all the war zones.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
where the war chief is.
In colour photos, like the walls are like, that's like an orangey peachy colour.
Is it? Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you sort of see, you're like, I didn't expect that, you know?
Jarring, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you watch black and white 60s Who, you just assume everything is just grey or black or white. Like, Vaughn's office in The Invasion.
Yeah.
Apparently, that the floor has that, like, swirly pattern.
That's it's like brown and yellow, isn't
it?
Yeah,
like yellow, yeah.
Yeah. Which is very 1960s sort of colour scheme. Oh, here we go.
I'm all worried about the spiders.
There's a third one, it's disappeared.
I think it would be fun to be a Dalek operator as well. Try and get it right. I wonder what that would have looked like back then. I bet they would have been dragging it along with a string.
Maybe. But then they managed to do it in the Daleks, didn't they? And that...
Yeah. The claw came out.
Yeah, that looks really good.
But I love it when they show the mutants, because, like, to the average Joe, if you tell them, the Daleks, they go, oh yeah, the robots from Doctor Who. No, they're horrible mutated squid things full of hate in a tank.
Yeah.
And I love it when they, you see them reproducing the Dalek mutants in the
Well,
lab.
even that, just seeing it crawl under the door. And the music, I mean, if you said, like, a moment ago, but the score as well.
Yeah.
It all comes together.
Scary.
And it is all scary.
Yeah, it's frightening. I think this has got to be the best title sequence, hasn't it? It's just so alien and bizarre.
For the time, this is... Well, no one had ever seen anything like this, had they?
It holds up, though, as well.
It
looks
definitely
great.
does. And the score just speaks volumes, because they used that all the way through to 1979, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So
it's slightly tweaked, but it's...
Well, they used it as a base, and then then they tweaked it. So it wasn't until the 1980s when they redone the whole thing.
But then again, they still kept the same tune, so...
Yeah.
It's very popular.
It is just iconic. So that really sells the threat, doesn't it?
Yeah, the fact that he's been clowning around for part one, the fact that he's now serious, shows that the Daleks are a big threat.
And he's just turned around and said, only one.
Yeah.
This wipe out this entire colony.
That must be where Dalek Set got that from. It's like, you would defeat the Cybermen with 4 Daleks. We only need 1 Dalek.
Yeah. It's quite good to sort of see it all play out, because as the Doctor's just said, the colony is not right. They're sort of at each other's throats. So we're now just going to spend the next 4 or 5 parts watching it all fall apart.
Yeah.
With the Daleks.
Like dominoes.
Yeah.
Well, the Daleks just put salt in the wound, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
They're not powerful enough to wipe out the whole colony, so they start allying themselves with the bad people, the revolutionists. And once their usefulness has expired, they just kill them. That's completely in character for the Daleks.
Yeah.
There you go. Still a bit of doubt about whether he's the Doctor or not from Ben. Listen. But it's quite hard, actually. They have quite a good dynamic, Polly and the Second Doctor.
No, they do.
But again, it's not explored that much because they're not used enough, really, are they? Ben and Polly.
No.
Where is the third Dalek? I don't know what you're talking about. You opened up the capsule without permission.
Oh, it's got interesting. I forgot about this bit.
Compartment containing 3 Daleks. You took one of them away and you hid it. Hid it? What nonsense.
I know you hid it because I saw its skid marks on the floor.
And he's nicked a Dalek. It's the name of the
He's nicked a Dalek. I love Ben. He's great.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's so straight talking. Oh, mate, you nicked a fucking Dalek.
I consider it my duty as a scientist. These lumps of metal, Daleks, I want them broken up or melted down. Up or down, I don't care which, but destroyed. I refuse to allow it.
It's almost like the Daleks have sort of snapped him out of his post-regeneration trauma. It's woken him up a bit. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
the Daleks, quick!
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it, actually. I
Yeah.
thought about it like that.
Because he's so much more serious now, to the point. Whereas before he was just clowning around.
Yeah. So you're just trying to get used to himself, and
Yeah.
now Daleks, he's like, I know where I'm at, sort
Yeah.
of thing.
I know who I am. I know what I need to do. You know.
There it is, stuffed in a cupboard. God, they like stuffing things in cupboard, don't they? In Doctor Who.
Well, they stuffed Ben in the cupboard in the faceless once. Put him in a box.
Must be some way to bring him back.
They look scary, 60s Daleks. I don't know what it is. I think it's the lens.
It's there's no. I mean, the pupil.
Yeah, the 70s pupil.
Saying that, the original props they used for these, as we, I mean, I found this out from the B&M toys that have just come out.
All right.
So the 1970s eye stalk you see with the pupil actually was implemented in this one,
Can't see them.
they painted it like over the pupil, white.
Oh, so you can't see
So
it.
On this version, it probably will be
The lens eye.
the lens, but on the actual prop on the original footage, you see the original.
But
footage.
it's still lit up though, didn't it?
Oh yeah,
that's what
I'm
probably-
not sure actually. I'm
That's
not
what
sure.
or if it did, that's what probably hides it.
But yeah, I think it is the lens, the dilating lens. I think it's.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they brought that back in the new series.
And I like,
It's just brilliant.
I like what they've done with the B&M sets, where some Daleks have a smaller lens because
Yes.
they've retracted it.
Yeah.
Like in, they do it in this story actually. There's the surviving footage of that Dalek doing its monologue, and its eye squints.
Good old Blue Peter. We wouldn't have that footage without Blue Peter.
That was where it came
That's
from.
where it came from. Yeah.
Actually, Blue Peter didn't. They saved the first regeneration as well.
Yeah, no, they did. Yeah.
Thank God for Blue Peter. Well, that's quite creative. A bug in the fruit.
How did they get that in there? Because that fruit looked pristine. How the hell did they get that bug in the fruit?
Maybe because it's the far future, they grow fruit in a lab, so they put the bug there and grew the fruit around it. Maybe. I'd love if he just like tore all of the fruit up. Like, he's like,
I was about to say that. Yeah, he's going to go and start mashing up all the food they've got in the room.
someone walks in. What are you doing? I'm sure it's here somewhere. That animation was a bit weird there. That's why we have to stay. Oh, yeah, the stovepipe hat, that didn't last long, did it? You can see why. It's a bit too Charlie.
It was in the Highlanders as well, wasn't there?
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I think briefly.
Yeah.
It's a bit too Charlie Chaplin, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't open it up if I were you.
Yeah, if she's frightened of a plunger going like that, can you imagine what she's going to be like when she sees the squid inside? You see, when the Daleks do less, they're more scary. Like, even those little movements there, because you don't know what it's going to do, it makes it so much more unpredictable.
Yeah.
And it makes this scene even better, because when it shoots the bloke, it's way more impactful. There you go, the lens moving there. It adds so much more character to them when the lens moves. It's just so much better.
I think it's the fact as well that it's got no pupil. It is just a hole, so there's nothing to identify with.
It's just staring at you. Yeah. See, this is the first time in a while I've been a bit frightened of these things, because it's just the way it stares at you. Look at it.
That's the thing. It's saying nothing, which is just
it's perfect.
It speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Just the silence speaks volumes.
Less is more. Yeah.
Yeah. Less is always more.
Yeah. More music from the Dead Planet. They use this music when they first see the Dalek city.
Yes.
In the Daleks.
You fool!
You old fool!
We need more mercury.
Oh, Quinn's up to something. That guy's having a nap or he's dead.
Bloody Harley Quinn, honestly. What, by standing there doing this? In the dark?
He's unconscious.
Not like I was the one to do it with my wrench or anything.
Pick them up!
What wrench? I picked them up for no reason. The lava lamps in the background.
Yeah.
I guess back then they looked quite sci-fi, didn't they? Lava lamps.
Well, I think they still do. They still look pretty cool.
I think because we're so used to them now, though,
Yeah,
it's a bit silly when you see
now,
them.
yeah.
It's unbelievable that they weren't convinced by his story.
I know, suddenly with wrenches. Yeah, I sort of I found them.
I picked them up. Okay, we'll let you off then.
See, again, so this is halfway through episode 2. The Daleks have been introduced at the end of part 1. The Dalek hasn't uttered a word.
No, actually, I hadn't said it. Peter Hawkins has an easy job. It doesn't need to speak though. Oh, look at this stuff.
See, and the fact it didn't even shout exterminate before firing.
Just
brilliant.
You are not a Dalek. Brilliant. You are not a Dalek. You are wrong. Bang. They're a bit like that in Dalek Invasion of Earth. You know, they don't really bother saying exterminate a lot. They just go kill him, or that's it. That's all they say, isn't it?
Yeah. Straight to the point, and that just makes him more terrifying.
It's like, you try to escape, right? Kill him.
Like, I'm not going to speak because you're not going to get through to me. I'm just going to do what I do, sort of thing.
I mean, it's completely in character for the Daleks. Like, they just see everything that isn't a Dalek as completely wrong, so they have to get rid of them. And
it's that disconnect with the eye stalk, disconnect to them not speaking.
Yeah, it makes them more alien as well.
Yeah. And there's a great juxtaposition between the silence and sort of ominous feel of the Dalek to Dr. Plowman's recorder.
Yeah.
I removed. Oh, Reznov, have you been to see him today? Yes.
You've removed something. You've done the mutant.
No, he removed the gun.
Oh, removed the gun.
No, he still can't get into the casing. He just took the gun off.
Okay.
Just remember, they walk around without their gun.
That's right, yes.
Not walk around, wheel around.
Let's go and surprise them.
He's a bit... The actor's overdoing it a bit, Lesterson. He's alright, but his line delivery is like, oh, we're going to go and surprise them!
That's just a bit of an unfortunate animation choice of the way Doctor's sitting there.
Sit down. Burp.
Boom. Was there a noise? I didn't hear a noise.
No, he farted. Well, it sounded like he farted.
I thought it was probably the chair squeaking across the floor.
It sounded like a fart, though. I know, it probably was. But he went, sit down, doctor.
Get me? No.
Oh, and that bit of music there, it's just so alien and creepy, isn't it?
It is.
I like Murray Gold and Sega Akinola, but I must say some of the, especially in the 60s, that some of the music is just so creepy and ominous. And it works better in some ways. Not always, but some ways.
Focusing on the doctor there.
See, and I like that. That's what crushes Ben's suspicions, is that the Dalek recognised him.
Yeah.
Even though he has a completely different face, the Dalek still knows. That's their worst enemy.
Oh, there we go. The first time we hear the Dalek speak.
And Mark Gatiss copied this for Victory of the Daleks when it said, I am your soldier.
And that's quite a big moment as well, because everyone's like, oh.
Yeah, it speaks. That's the first time it spoke. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that the Dalek drowns him out as well. But the Doctor has no control now.
Yeah. That's it. End of part 2. As soon as the Dalek starts speaking, you know that's the beginning of the end.
This is brilliant. I enjoyed...
It's just the atmosphere. The feeling of dread, because you know what's going to happen.
It really feels bleak, doesn't it?
And it's not the fact we know what's going to happen because we've seen it. It's just we know what's going to happen because we know the Daleks.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the audience has had 4 Dalek stories by this point. They know their motives. And the fact that we're now seeing characters that don't know the Daleks and saying, oh, they're our servant. They've come to help. And then it's dramatic irony because the audience knows what their intentions really are. And the fact that the characters don't know makes it more entertaining. Well, apart from the Doctor and the companions.
If we were to set it to work in the mines, it could double our production overnight. Consider the effect it could have on our whole economy. Yes, and the effect of that on Earth.
Thing is, though, they don't really know what the Daleks are. And all of a sudden they're saying, oh, they can work for us now.
Yeah.
It's like, do you not want to ask the Dalek first?
Well, I mean, that's just such a human sort of reaction, though, isn't it? Oh, look, we've got a ready-made solution here.
Yeah. Oh, look, something's landed in our laps. Perfect.
Mm.
Even though we're not going to research it much. I think the Daleks, they had the worm on the hook. All they had to say was, I am your servant. And humans like, oh, great, quick.
Yeah.
Get to work, quickly.
So it slightly hesitated there, didn't it?
Yeah. I remember that later on they slip up a bit. Like they say something like, they almost say Daleks are superior, but they have to stop themselves halfway through because they can't bear to behave in this way. A nice set there.
It is, isn't it? The plants outside. Through the window.
I like those circular windows as well. Where does he keep that hat? Because all of a sudden it's just on his head. Like, he didn't have it earlier.
Flat pack.
Now the examiner was attacked. There can be no question of that. From the button grabbed by the examiner was missing from your suit. Yes.
You know Bragen's the bad guy because he's wearing the dark shirt.
Yes.
Bragen's thought about this very thoroughly. To be fair, they were just allegations. The governor he can't just believe one man's word.
All right.
Yeah, it's not exactly a court case here, is it? He's basically given a theory of how he could be guilty, Bragen.
Well, that's just the classic condition of giving into theory, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Theory of conspiracy, and then he's sort of making the wrong judgment.
Yeah. Smug bastard.
And that's just a credit to the animation, because you know, there's the little subtle, like you said, little smirks and stuff.
Mm.
It is hard to say, you know, what it was really like the original version.
Maybe in the script it was said that he gave a smug face.
It's the same animation of
the same cushions. I thought that said Magpie Electricals for a minute. It's sort of... I think that says... Look.
You got better eyesight than me.
It's just the logo looks similar. Wouldn't surprise me.
When sodium acts on ethyl alcohol, what is the resulting derivative? Sodium oxide, C2H5ONA.
And this further displays how intelligent the Daleks are.
Yeah.
Because people overlook that with the Daleks, because in a lot of stories they're just shown as these shouty Nazis shooting things.
Especially when Davros comes along,
Yeah.
they're just...
They're just the thugs then, aren't they? They're the goons. But, you know, they're intelligent creatures. And they're more frightening when it shows their intelligence, like in this story.
There you go, it's now the Doctor's turn to do the manipulative sort of side.
Well, that's the second Doctor all over.
What is the first law of thermodynamics? When heat is transformed into any other kind of energy, or vice versa.
They make it a thing in the classic series that the Doctor's an expert in thermodynamics, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think that's why... It's not a very good story, but I remember that's why the Rani needs him in Time in the Rani. Because he's an expert in that field. Get out! He's my friend! The only friend I've ever made! Oh, he just wants to kill him now. The actor playing Bragan, I think, is quite good. Because he's not overplaying it and he's very reserved.
Yeah, he's playing it with a slight smirk, isn't he?
Yeah, he's arrogant, but he's just straight to the point when he's interacting with, was it Janley?
Yeah.
The only reason I remember the name is because it's written down on their shirt. But he's very subtle, the way he's delivering his lines. He's like, right, if we're going to take over, we need to do this.
Look how big and bulky the Dalek gun looks with the rest of the arm.
Yeah.
I need another card in my hand. The Examiner bothers me. I thought Queensland. Not anymore. The Examiner's no fool. No. There has to be something else.
And it shows he's not an idiot as well, because he's not being fooled by the Doctor's clowning around.
Yeah.
Around, then to your right, in the next box. Thanks very much.
Don't do it. That's a good set in there as well. Like
It
a
is.
TARDIS.
Anyone here?
Chloroform.
Well done,
No, it's just Annika Wills going on a holiday.
Probably, yeah.
That's why she's not in it for a while now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
she went on holiday apparently halfway through. Well, she had a break at least.
Doctor, I'm just popping off. I'm going on my holiday. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Right, I'll see you in part 4.
Bye, Polly. It's funny, the second Doctor plays the recorder less and less throughout his era. He doesn't have it at all in season 6, does he?
No. But I like the fact they bring it back and it serves quite a good plot element in the Three Doctors.
Yeah. The gift to Omega.
Yeah, that's actually what saves him in the end.
Yeah. Troughton, I think, is probably the highlight of the Three Doctors. I mean, Pertwee's my Doctor, but I think he outshines everyone in that story. He's just on point in the Three Doctors. He's hilarious. Like Joe says, oh, it's a song by the Beatles. Like, oh, how does it go? Oh, be quiet. I love that bit.
Human interest and curiosity. A Dalek is
Oh yeah, he nearly slipped up then. Dalek is better than a human. He nearly said.
He was so arrogant, that Dalek. He went, the Dalek is better! The worm on the hook again.
Yeah.
The good thing with this animation as well is that when the Daleks' lights light up, it's in sync with the voice.
Yes.
Because in the classic series, it wasn't always in sync.
I think it really highlights like the light that illuminates from the eye stalk as well.
Yeah.
Which I think, it looks like really good.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the classic series, because of the lighting and the set and everything, it didn't always come through.
No, if it was brightly lit, it would drown out the light of the eye lens.
Yeah. Well, even if you look at Planet the Daleks, or the Supreme, like the amount of like the shots sometimes are horrible because of the light. This is too much light, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, I don't like that Supreme Dalek anyway. I think it's a bit naff. And I hate the way the eye stalk lights up as it speaks. It's just too much. It looks way too much like an actual torch as well.
Well, yeah, literally it's just a red torch, isn't it? Just stuck on the end.
On the Dalek, yeah. And the purple lights. I don't know, I'm just not keen on that one. I prefer the gold one from Day of the Daleks. I got a sticker. Yeah, they're panicking now. I love how cowardly the Daleks can be when they're vulnerable.
Not anymore.
Well, not now, yeah.
2 more have turned up with guns.
Mm. But they're like that in Death to the Daleks, you know, when their guns don't work.
Yeah, keep back.
Yeah, keep back, keep away. Like, why? What are you going to do? There we go, that famous
he's lost
line.
the hat.
Oh, no. It's a bit like...
This is the great bit.
Oh, the monologue, yeah.
This is, we finally sort of bear witness to what the Daleks are actually sort of planning.
Mm.
The poor governor, he's got no clue what's going on. He's just like, I don't know, just stop shouting at each other.
He's not very...
I don't know what's going on.
He's a terrible leader. Every time he gets uncomfortable, he's just like, oh, stop! It's like earlier when Bragan was saying, oh, I think Quinn must have been the one because I think this. And the governor was like, how dare he? Get out!
Yeah, you must be right.
You must be right, yeah. He's rubbish. No wonder the colony gets taken over so easily.
Wait till they know that I'm not the examiner. Yeah, by knowing what the real examiner looked like. Exactly.
Here we go. Bragan's just giving away himself there.
And his murderer. That's enough. Is it? Doctor, we've got to tell the governor.
I've noticed Troughton. It's very Sherlock Holmes the way he's working things out. It's like, you couldn't have known this because of that. No, he's working things out.
Yeah.
He's very much like a detective in this. He was a bit like that earlier with Lesterson when he said, you must have seen the Daleks already because you didn't look surprised at all to see them.
That's the thing. I mean, when the Daleks are in, the Doctor sort of feels like he's on the back foot. But then, compared to all the other characters, the whole cast, he always feels like he's one step ahead.
Oh, yeah.
And considering this is his first story,
Nice.
just a credit to Troughton and this Doctor.
And the writing.
And the writing, yeah.
David Whitaker's script and a great performance by Patrick Troughton.
Yeah.
Well, the Brigadier puts it well. He said something similar to what you just said. In The Invasion, he said, oh, I can rely on the Doctor. He's always 2 steps ahead of everyone.
Now, surely that is a red flag.
Yeah, why would you do it in front of Lesterson? Got a bit carried away there.
Surely Lesterson's a bit like, okay. What's going on here?
Hold on a minute. Like that, the Radiophonic Workshop did such a good job with the score in the 60s.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so alien and weird and atmospheric. It's very well done. This is going so... We're halfway through.
I know. We're halfway through already.
So
it's
quickly.
Crazy.
It goes to show the quality of the story, the fact that it's going quickly.
Yeah.
It leaves you wanting more, even though it's a 6-parter. It doesn't feel like one. Yeah, the Daleks got a bit carried away here, didn't they? They started chanting in front of Lesterson. Excuse me?
God, I wonder how long they were standing there for. Lesterson just standing there a bit awkwardly.
I've been here for 5 hours. What are you doing?
Oh, someone turned off the power.
Yeah, Lesterson.
That's why I was getting bored.
Yeah.
But I want you to remember that I control you.
I've had enough of that song.
From this generator, and I control it.
So he's literally just pointing out the generator to him. This generator right here that you can probably use at any time that's not guarded or anything.
That's like saying, this door is locked, you can't go out, but the key's over there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Await your orders somewhere else, where he isn't.
Yeah, it doesn't really make much sense, does it?
No.
Oh, that's creepy.
Mm. Oh, look.
Oh, that was a very nice transition, yeah.
Perfect. He's even dressed like a Nazi now.
He's even more like Moff Tarkin.
Why is he dressed differently now?
I don't know.
Because he's second in command now, probably.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Quinn's been arrested, isn't he?
I have brought you beer.
Shall I bring liquid to your visitors? I might do that now. People come around. Would you like some liquid? Do you want a drink?
If you're a bartender, can I take a liquid order for you, sir? Extra milk, that said.
I still love the fact as well. So they're in this technologically advanced colony, and they're still using like pinboards for people to get their information from.
Yeah. Isn't that how they communicate, the revolutionists?
Oh yes, it is. Yeah, you're right.
They have like hidden messages in those pin-up posters.
Yeah.
More in the capsule than we thought. We must go and see Lesterson. Yeah, show him this note.
That's the one thing about this capsule is obviously they go into it in in a minute or the next part whenever it is, and it seems there's like a massive Dalek production line in there.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
But the capsule's only.
That's what I'm thinking.
Big.
Does it go really far back? Is there a massive part of the back that we can't see?
No, maybe.
Because they don't have... actually,
it's
no, hang
it's
on.
like the TARDIS, dimensionally transcendental.
Yeah, but do you remember in the chase, their time machine is bigger on the inside.
Oh, it is, okay.
So it
yeah.
must be, it's probably that then.
Alright, I'm going to shut up then.
It's too dangerous.
He's finally realising how silly he was being.
I'm more important than human life. No, I won't accept that.
It shows that he's just an overexcited scientist when he discovers something new, but deep down he has a proper moral compass.
If only your work. Nothing is beyond them given the right materials. What? I said nothing is beyond them.
Here we go. Breakdown is imminent.
What's the matter?
Johnny here. Tell Barman to come into the laboratory.
You were saying about the pin-up posters. They're still using bloody wired phones.
Yeah.
Maybe they're very nostalgic for the 60s in the
Maybe.
future.
I would be.
I like the ship has Dalek bumps on it. It's a nice little
Isn't
addition.
it? And they're supposed to be sensors, is that right? On the Daleks is what they're
Yeah, I think so.
So there you go. So those giant bumps are sensors for the ship.
Even though the Dalek bump sensors never work, because all it takes to hide from a Dalek is just to go and let it go past. I've noticed that a lot of the wide shots actually look like the cameras that were used at the time in the studio. You know, it's quite grainy and
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
This screen is 2-inch thick tungsten steel.
Because they just have those screens lying around everywhere, don't they?
Yeah, what's the use for them?
How do you know Dalek control the difference between the governor's people and our people? I can tell the difference, you fool, and I control it. We want something better than words.
They're just stupid, these people, aren't they? They really are. They're
Yeah.
arrogant to the point of stupidity. Yeah, I control it, so it's going to be fine. But try and shoot her then.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
They've got control of the gun, so... Well, that goes to show you can't really rely on them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa. Ben just got a thump in the face.
You heard me, that's an order. Turn away.
It's like they're so desperate they have to rely on something they can't trust.
Yeah.
Fetch the guard.
Look at that. The lens.
Just adds another sort of layer of character to them as well, doesn't it?
Definitely. I find it hilarious that he is actually innocent, considering when we found him, he was holding a wrench by a body and said, "Oh, I picked it up."
Well, it just goes to show then, doesn't it?
Look at that. Yeah, like you said earlier about the lens lighting
being illuminated. Yeah, it looks great.
Especially when they're shot in the dark. Another great fear element to the Daleks in this is that they reproduce so quickly as well.
Yeah.
So efficient. You know, with their big factory line that we're about to see.
I think that's the thing, we don't see it at first as well, so
Yeah, it adds more
if
mystery.
nobody pointed it out, we wouldn't have probably noticed.
No.
It's just like we've seen before, so, oh god, no, we have, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah, they subtly put it in there so it's unnoticeable.
Yeah.
And then you realise, oh shit, yeah. This is brilliant. I think they used toy Daleks in the original
Yes.
version. There we go, it's a deep fried Dalek. Kentucky Fried Dalek, there you go.
KFD rather than KFC.
KFD!
Kentucky Fried Dalek.
KFD! I love that they have to sort of jumpstart it to
Yeah.
make it alive, make it sentient. Oh, they are disgusting. Yeah, and then it makes that horrible noise when it goes in.
Interesting, they're going in the bottom though, aren't they? Yeah, they're going in the bottom of the Dalek.
Maybe
rather
they
than
climb
the...
up.
Or maybe.
Big Finish did a trailer, I couldn't tell you what it was for, I can't remember, but where they did a CGI version of this. Like a Dalek production line.
Okay.
And it looked really cool. They were like putting bolts into the casing and it looked really cool. I can't remember what it was for though. Obviously a Dalek Big Finish audio. But...
Yeah.
And it looked like that. They did that whole thing of the arms coming up, I think. And it only takes a handful of Daleks to create this.
Yeah.
And we've earned this scene now because we've had so much build-up and mystery and conniving behind the scenes by the Daleks that this scene feels really well earned. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And it is really built up to it nicely.
The menace of the Daleks has been... It's been put there since episode 1.
Yeah, and it's been slowly building.
Slowly building, yeah. So now, even if you haven't seen Daleks before, now you're like, holy shit.
That's the threat there.
Yeah.
No, very good. You see the logo there? It looks a bit cleaner.
Yeah.
I think that's been redone.
I think it has, yeah. I think it said in the credits that someone's redone the title sequence and stuff.
It sounds a bit
clearer, crisper.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a magpie.
There's a
For a
Dalek
second
outside.
I thought it was a Dalek on here.
We are so bored of counting you all.
There's like 200 odd Daleks and I'm going to count them all one by one.
Cool. They probably added more for the animation there. I don't know if they had that many.
There was 4 props in the
Four?
original.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder how they did that. Did they do a shot like that in the original then?
I don't know. You know the shot where the Daleks are all coming around the corner?
Yeah, they repeat that, don't they?
Yeah.
But I remember
just going around in
there was a
circles.
shot when they're in the big room, and there's before they go out the door. I remember existing footage of them being in that big room, It looked like there was more than 4, but they must have... I don't know.
What you doing? Oh, excuse me. In Dalek Invasion Earth, these cardboard cutouts, didn't they?
Yeah, they might have. Yeah, they might have done that there. Too late. Should have listened
to
earlier.
the doc, yeah. Didn't even bother with an excuse.
We are not
ready yet to teach these human beings the law of the Daleks.
That's good.
That is pretty impactful, yeah.
Good monologue.
And it's funny how, in this whole story, the Doctor is referred to as the Examiner rather than the Doctor.
Yeah, that's true. Again, maybe it's to put doubt in the audience's mind whether it is the Doctor. Oh look, she's back from a holiday.
Nothing's going to happen to you if you behave.
God, Polly, you look like you've got a good tan from being in that cupboard for like 2 weeks.
So when you just press the button on the door, my God, surely the Doctor will go.
Yeah, he can clearly reach his hand around and just go, dude.
Unless it's glass, but...
Or maybe it is glass.
Yeah.
Let's just say it is glass.
Yeah.
I am your servant.
I wonder how many times they've actually said that in this story. It's got to be at least 10 times.
Yeah.
Get him back here as quickly as possible. We're all in terrible
Actually, probably more than 10 times, because at the end of part 2, they wouldn't stop saying it.
Yeah, they said it about 5 times then, didn't they?
Yeah.
Isn't the examiner? We're just travelers.
I think Michael Craze has gone on holiday now.
The doctor, that's the man you said.
Yeah, maybe.
He got punched in the face, and then now he's been gone for ages.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in this episode at all, have we?
No.
Trying to warn everyone.
He's going to come back with a tan line next part.
I've been in Benidorm! I've been captured!
question, then. Look, you're
I asked you a question, man.
I want to hear about the examiner.
Did he go back to Earth for a bit? Was that where he went?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what happened to
He's
him.
been away doing something.
He's been on holiday as well.
He's an imposter, Governor.
I've been to Benidorm with Michael Craze.
Who the devil do you think you're talking to?
What the devil do you think you're talking to, old chap?
You imbecile.
Quinn warned him about the guards, but he was sentencing Quinn a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
Can't make his mind up.
Kill him.
There we go, it started.
Why do human beings kill human beings?
I love that even the Daleks are like, why the hell are you so treacherous towards each other?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you
Yeah,
humans?
oh, that's a bit harsh. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, they're just questioning that because Daleks are all equal.
Yeah.
Disobedience.
But
Everyone.
and it's a very good question.
Yeah,
And it's
it is.
always going to be relevant.
I'd like to know that question.
That's not the answer, yeah.
It's just as you asked.
You answer that question? Yeah, that's what I meant.
The Daleks have some of the best lines in this. Like there's that, and then I'm your servant, and
Yeah.
you know, some of the monologues they have. This is the Daleks the musical.
The remix.
Old-fashioned, single-minded, yes.
I think Polly likes Quinn.
Not wonderful work.
Yeah.
Events turned out against her, that's all.
Don't tell Ben.
But why?
Oi! What do you think you're doing?
I can answer that.
Get your hands off the Duchess!
Why the Daleks?
So
God.
that-
2 hours later.
That shot there is existing footage, and it looks like It looks like that. Like there's more than 4 of them, but maybe they. I don't know how they did it really.
Yeah, this is the exact shot as well they used.
Yeah.
Well, I think they might. Yeah, because they done that gap as well. Where there's 4.
Yeah.
And then they're coming around again because it's just one big circuit.
Yeah, they didn't even repeat the footage. They just had them go around in circles.
Yeah.
Now it's all going to go to shits because of humanity's greed and lust for power.
So hang on. So I thought they were waiting for the humans to sort of go to war with each other before going out there and finishing off the survivors. But there's been no infighting, is there, between the colonists?
Well, I mean, they technically are already in control now because Bragan's the governor. So they didn't really need to fight because they're in control now. They're in command.
I guess they got their
also,
ring, didn't they?
The Daleks are buying time because by helping the revolutionists, it gave them more time to reproduce themselves.
Yeah.
And because the Daleks were claiming to help them, the revolutionists gave them all the materials they needed to help rebuild their armies as well. So it was all they were playing the long game, basically. I think that's the point.
They will be exterminated. We've won! The revolution's over!
Look, they've got the Nazi-style armbands.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Nazi visuals in classic sci-fi because it was so... World War II wasn't that long ago at that time.
No. Well, at this point, it's only, 21 years ago?
Yeah. Well, even in Inferno, that's based off... That whole virtual reality is based off a lot of right-wing movements in Britain. And there's a particular man that they sort of based it off. I think he might have been post-World War II. I don't know the exact details, but it was based off him. Look, I like the punch habit.
All right.
Yeah. Stay there. Oh! And you trusted these things. That's proper karma, that is.
Yeah.
You know, they were the horrible people trying to take over the colony. You know, they think, oh yeah, the Daleks will help. We control them. Nope.
But we are your friends. We will serve you. Take us to the
So those 3 going off about that spiel again. Yeah, don't worry, we friends, yeah.
We are your friends.
In the corridor outside,
I think people get
they're
murdered.
just mowing them down.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good shot. And the lenses, again.
Pretty sure it had already been shot in the previous corridor.
Yeah, I thought that. Maybe it was just the guard that got hit.
Or maybe.
The rebels are using the Daleks against our people. Well, get back and fight. Why you come running to me? What do you think your guns are for?
So, Bragan was going to kill Janley for some reason. That's why she's trying to get the Daleks to kill him.
Hang on. What was that? Was that an M16? They wouldn't have M16 rifles back in
No, that's a
1966.
G36C. Sorry, I don't know why I know that. Yeah, G36C, they definitely didn't exist in the 60s.
Yeah.
They've added that in the animation. I guess they're trying to make it more like it's in the future by having that rifle in it. Yeah. But it's funny that I don't get why Bragan wants to kill Janley.
Maybe because he's put himself in power, isn't he? And he doesn't want to be seen as the leader of the resistance, so she's like the next in command. So
yes, that makes sense.
So they're like, no, the resistance, it was all her.
Yeah, she's trying to pin it on her. Yeah. Oh, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah. What a mess, eh? Like all of that treachery within the colony. Throw Daleks in the mix, and
yeah,
it's just
destroyed everything.
Yeah, complete destruction.
Oh, here we go. Goodbye, Janley.
right. Cool. There's a big death count in this story.
There is, isn't there?
Probably still not as much as Resurrection, though.
Section 1. Where's your report? Are you there, Section 1? Section 2. Section 2, why don't they answer? Can you hear me, Section 2?
Why don't they answer? You have no idea what's going on.
No. Well, he's Mr. Important, hiding behind his desk, so he has no idea what's going on. There you go.
Yeah, Mac, this is why no one's answering.
That just sums up the Daleks right there. They just cause death and destruction. That's all they do. And these idiots trying to use them for power.
This bit of music, I think it's from... Is it Ambush the track?
Yeah, from the Daleks.
And they've looped it, which is just...
Yeah, it suits the scene.
It does, it really, really
Especially
works.
her with their eyes open, that's pretty haunting.
I'm speaking to the Daleks. Daleks, listen to me. I'm the governor.
That couldn't have backfired more, could it? Oh, we'll use these machines. They're our servants. They can help us get into power.
This is the governor speaking.
And he's still holding on to I'm the governor.
Yeah.
I could have plugged out, cut the power off, because I prefer to do it my way.
The only thing with the Daleks is the way they're defeated here. It's like a big red button, isn't it?
Yeah.
All their power source is right on the wall there. It's a bit exposed.
It is a little bit convenient.
Yeah.
Yes, no game, us life.
And we will take away yours. Almost. It looks like it didn't work. He's like, no. Does it work on me? I mean, it's cool in the way that he uses their weapons against them.
Yeah.
But, their whole power supply is on the wall. With the controls to it.
Okay, so I know that they lose their power, but why are they blowing up?
Well, actually, maybe it was an overload of... I think it's too much power.
Too much power?
It's overloaded,
Okay.
Overloaded the system.
That makes sense.
That's why they're blowing up.
I'm still the governor, and you are...
I'm still the governor, like that means anything.
Enough for guns. There's a lot of clearing up to be done. We will rebuild together. What's the extent of the damage?
What's the extent of the damage? Well, about 10,000 Daleks just blew up.
Our power supply has been destroyed. It'll be months before we can get things back to normal.
Well, now, that is unfortunate.
Did it have to be?
Are you sure your power supply is gone? Because there's still lights on.
Come on.
Unless it's a backup generator.
No, he wasn't, was he?
Doctor, you didn't know what you were doing, didn't you?
They're trying to make him overly mysterious here, I think. That's spooky. There we go. That was the power of the Daleks.
That was the power of the Daleks. I think that is the longest one we've done so far.
Does that clock
Recording
it?
one of these.
Is that longer than 5 Doctors?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely longer than 5 Doctors.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good story. I must say, towards part 6, I was really enjoying it up to then. I thought it dragged just a little bit in part 6.
It could have done maybe even a 5-parter.
Yeah, I think
you
5
reckon?
parts would have been perfect because it was all build up, and then the fighting broke out. We're like, oh shit! Now it's all happening, and then it just sort of there was a big 10-minute period. We were like characters were just sort of running about. The Doctor was like, well, Lesterson gave his old speech about they're the next stage of evolution or whatever. That they're the ones that are going to take over from Homo sapiens. I mean, it was interesting stuff, but it didn't really need to be in there. It just dragged a bit there. But overall, brilliant because, a lot of the times in the 60s, the Daleks are made out to be like a bit of a joke, especially in the chase. Even though I like the chase and I think it's very entertaining, the Daleks are. I honestly think that's where the Daleks was people started to take the Daleks a lot less seriously because of how comedic they are in that, falling off the Mary Celeste and all these silly bits with Frankenstein. But this story was the complete opposite. It really brought the menace back in the Daleks. And Dalek's Master Plan did do that, but here I thought it was better because Dalek's Master Plan was a story on such a grand scale, and it was very epic. And but this one was a lot more simplistic. It was the Daleks have crashed on this planet, been there for thousands of years. They're suddenly discovered.
It's almost like the Daleks going back to their roots, isn't it? Almost?
Yeah, stripping it back to basics. Yeah, it just goes to show how intelligent the Daleks are, and that they're not just screaming dustbins, shouting exterminate. They're actually very methodical, intelligent creatures, and that makes them more scary. And then, like, for example, even in that first bit, talking about them being scary, they weren't doing an awful lot. They didn't speak until the end of part 2.
Yeah.
But that bit where Lesterson activates one of them, and, you have that great lens on the eye stalk in the 60s, like sort of retracting in and out, and it just gives the Dalek character, and the way it was following that poor scientist along and finally shot him, that just sums up the Daleks, isn't it? As soon as it gets its gun working, there's something that's not a Dalek over there, bang, and and they were extremely brutal towards the end as well. As soon as they got into power, they were ruthless, and that shot of all of the dead bodies towards the end, it just sums up the Daleks. That's how you write the Daleks.
I think you can sort of see as well, like, this is credit to the animation, credit to everything pretty much has gone into this production. But it's almost like the Daleks had a high level of confidence. As soon as their gun, was replaced back into their armour, they almost were like, right, that's it now.
The facade is over.
We're going to do what we do best.
Yeah, there's no need to keep up the facade then, because they're in power. For an introductory story for Patrick Troughton, there wasn't actually much put into, this is a new Doctor Who. Yeah. There was towards the start more, but as the story went on, it was more about the Daleks, and I think that was probably to keep fans involved and watching it. Because,
and as we said in the middle of it as well, we didn't say, the characters didn't really, apart from Ben and Polly, calling the Doctor. Apart from that, it was called the Examiner for most of the time. So
I think, like we said, it's probably to get the audience comfortable with him first. Because if everyone goes around calling him Doctor, they think, that's not the Doctor. Where's William Hartnell? Brilliant writing. Dragged a little bit and got a bit rushed towards the end. But overall, I thought it was a very, very strong Dalek story. I wouldn't even say it's a strong regeneration story. I'd say it's a strong Dalek story, because that's what it is, really. It's not that the focus isn't that much on the regeneration side of it, or renewal, as they called it back then. Yeah, strong 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I think I agree with pretty much everything you've just said there. It is a lot more of a Dalek story, and it's really, really nice to see. Am I right in saying that this is the first time David Whittaker's written for the Daleks?
For the Daleks?
For the Daleks, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless did he do bits of Dalek's Master Plan, or was that somebody else? That might be someone else.
Right. Well, anyway, his portrayal of the Daleks, brilliant.
His first full Dalek story.
Yeah,
if that is
brilliant.
Yeah.
The Daleks. So, as we said, the Daleks don't speak till end of episode 2. Yeah. And that just works in the context of the story. They're building up their power. They're sort of like, okay, we need the humans for the moment because we're building up our power, and then right at the end, bang, they take over. So seeing that progression is brilliant to see.
Yeah.
During part 6, I think it did get a little bit like, okay, we've had enough now.
Yeah, we've had enough. They were dragging their feet a little bit, but it still wasn't bad.
It's still entertaining. Still enjoyable to sit through. But I reckon if it was just one part shorter, it would rank high in my estimations.
It would have been a lot more condensed and a bit more solid.
So I think I'm going to give it a 7.5.
7.5.
7.5. Really enjoy this story. Daleks are definitely the best part about it. Troughton, excellent, considering this is the first time that we see him. He does play it slightly differently, but of course he's still trying to find his feet. And he's just brilliant in the role. Ben and Polly, I really do like Ben and Polly. It's such a shame that we don't see him do more.
No. They are underused.
But 7.5, I reckon. It's a really good story. Slightly too long, but apart from that, I haven't got anything bad to say about it. So, thank you for watching, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this reaction video, and if you did and you want to go back and watch this story, then by all means do so, because I think you'll have a great time doing so.
If you're a big Doctor Who fan and you like the Daleks, then it's perfect.
It is, definitely. And enjoy Evil of the Daleks, because that will be out around the time that this comes out, hopefully.
September
Hopefully.
time?
It's end of September, September 27th.
Okay.
So, about a month. From recording this, it's about a month till it comes out. But for you, it's only a few days away or it's already come out. So, There we go. Right. So that's that. Thank you for watching. And we will see you for our next watch along. Until then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, why not press the like button? Alternatively, if there's something you want to add, why not leave a comment? Also, if you like what I do here and you want to stick around, or you want to be notified of any further videos I do, why not subscribe as well as turn on the notification button? You'll be doing me a favour and you'll also be able to see all the new videos that I post in future. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.